Book Day finally, and welcome back, all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is US Comics Cast HQ for all things comic book connected. We are John and Charlie Rivera, co-founders of US Comics. Charlie, happy comic book day.
Happy comic book day to you and to everyone listening and watching today. As always, we are brought to you by Bad Mary Band and Sergeant Finesse Gaming. If you haven't done so already, please hit that comment section like your bearded absentee father has taken away your utility belt and you have to lay down the smack us down on your own. John,
Yeah,
today
that's true.
we're back. We're back to celebrate.
Why not?
We're back to celebrate. We're back to say hello. Today, we're going to dive into the Bat-tacular Christmas special, Merry Little Batman on Amazon Prime, because the goddamn virtual world is upside down. Marvel is once again going to let us ask the question, what if? And we take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2023. But to start off, John, let me ask you a very simple question. What if?
What was it now?
This is what if.
Oh, what if?
But what if again?
What
if number two?
Yikes! What
What if number two? What if I took a jump on
What
a
if you lean to fart? You're like, oh no, it was a number two. Oh no. So Charlie, I would ask if you were like me, but that would be a stupid question because the answer is always yeah. You're very much like me.
I'm a bloated clone. I thought we got to this.
The second season of What If snuck up upon me like it was just the American Ninja Warrior champion. I did not have, it was not on my radar whatsoever, and it really should have been, because the one thing that Marvel Disney has been consistent about is something ends, people liked it, people loved it, people tolerated it, whatever. They waited exactly a week and then they give us something else. This was really the first time that I was not, oh, what's next?
Yeah.
That should have been an episode.
What's next actually is a better title for season 2.
All of a sudden, then I'm like, oh shit, what if? And then there's been multiple weeks. I was like, did I fall into a complete Christmas coma? And the answer is yes, I did. Because there were a bunch of what if episodes
in our defense,
waiting for me.
We have
Christian is here.
We have
Joker's
been moving.
Here. What's up, boys?
And it is in fact the season of evil. So we have our special guest today, Lord Vigo. He is with us. That is a Christmas movie.
Ooh, yeah, work it. Give it to me.
I'm gonna add a little kitten.
I've worked with better, Vigo, but not many.
I mean, I felt the same. I mentioned it to you, almost ashamed of like, I fucking totally missed
all sheepishly.
And you were like, I don't even know what Marvel is.
Charlie's
like, you were
just towing the dirt.
I mean, again, it has been a lot. We are now Middle Island boys. That's a commitment to excellence in our new community.
Yeah.
But let's
Christian, cover your ears. New Jersey John, no more.
New Jersey John is dead and gone.
I mean, Donald dead, but
no, he's dead. Jersey John is
he's
dead.
Just floating in the Hudson. Just
exactly. Into the New York area. Even your corpse of the Jersey John is the New York John.
That's rough.
Easiest question.
Do I still have to pay the toll? Because those toll hikes be killing people.
That's true. That's true. Cousin Paul
and the hizzy.
You're going to wind up with those two like kind of horns that Ray had. Just possessed.
Paul, be careful. If you move around your spot right now, you'll find Vigo's eyes just follow you.
That's true. Very in like a sexy way. What did you think about What If?
So, look,
it's an easy question and a hard question.
Yeah.
Each episode is kind of its own creature.
So what if, for any nerd out there who doesn't know, which there are none, let's be honest, as an anthology series, I feel like they're constructed when they sit down. Joker, I'm telling you right now, Joker, you're gonna love it, man. You are a Joker stream, famously of Twitch, just killing these Fortnite suckers, don't know what's coming.
It was designed for him.
Joker, this type of show in general, and it's done well. Like, they wrote down this is what this show is going to be, and they have not really deviated from that yellow legal pad first sketching. It's like a concept's greatest hits. And I'm sure, obviously, you totally ingested the first season. Second season, from my money, Charlie, is really just literally and figuratively more of the same. And that's both why I really enjoyed this season. I haven't finished it. I'm not completely caught up with it. But the episodes that I have ingested, I both love, and I'm a little bit frustrated in the what could have been sense of the word. But like the actual what's on the screen hasn't been objectionable.
It's very weird for me, because I feel surprised that no one. Well, we should have a podcast. We fucking agree on everything. It's very I feel very, very similar in as much as like nothing I've seen I haven't liked. I think I've seen one more episode than you. I think I'm 4 episodes deep. I might be 5 episodes deep. My problem comes in. Well, first of all, everyone told me that the season was trash, which I'm like, you and I have much different definition of trash. At some point, people
I want
just
to
have
talk to this everyone guy.
Yeah,
out there
exactly. It's a
who's
real
out there just talking nonsense.
It's
all
the
time.
one person who
this
calls
kid
Twitter
is
X.
crazy gullible.
It's true.
He will believe anything at
for it.
all.
I was literally shocked that the first episode was so good, which is Nebula rolling with the Nova Corp, which like a concept alone, you don't need that the city, the slight spoilers, the setup at least for the episodes. The idea is that Nova City, I forget what they call it, is like under a shield. So they're like, we're fucked for 15 years.
People automatically went to like the Rogue One story. I'm like, yo, bro, that was Druidia's storyline. What are you talking about?
See, to me, I immediately thought Highlander, like, but 2. Like Highlander 2 is like Highlander done fucked up A-Rod. Nebula's one of those characters. It's an endless amount of untapped potential in a story that in the main line is kind of done. So for me, right out the gate, I was like, this is sick. Nebula, Nova Corp, go.
You think Nebula has untapped potential still?
No, not still. Not in the main line. I think that story, beginning, middle, end.
In my opinion, and again, this is relatively spoiler free, for those again who have not yet to imbibe. She was giving off major RoboCop vibes for me. She's just rolling down the street, just like scanning stuff.
Well, I didn't see. I mean, it has an amazing
love the way
ending.
she uses her memory.
Fucking they managed to take a character that I really enjoy. I'm also like obsessed with that actor. Like she's tremendous. I forget her name, but tremendous.
Like what is that the ultimate flex when Marvel was at the height of their powers, where they're like Jillian, what's her face? You've got beautiful red hair.
Yeah.
She's bald.
Bickett.
She's bald.
I like
now.
that it didn't even occur to her until like the second movie to be like, wait, you guys could just cover it? And they were like, yeah, the whole time. That's very... We made an Iron Man suit. Do you not remember that before we put him in Spanx?
Ellis, your letters to Santa have not been for naught. We 100%... Matter of fact, let's go ahead. Let's pencil Ellis in.
Done.
Ellis, get yourself ready to join the boys for our inevitable Godzilla convo. Because
I can't help but notice he wants us to review a movie. He's offered to help us move 0 times. I got an office desk that needs to be built. You know, I'm just saying, we can have an exchange program.
We'll find plenty of work for Ellis in 24. That's true. Easy enough.
That's true. You know that's coming.
There's multiple kaiju properties out there to talk about. So Ellis, get yourself very ready, very early in the new year, because we have a lot of catching up.
We do.
The move is, for anyone paying attention and keeping sore at home, the move is coming along it's really starting to pick up some momentum, because once all the big dinosaur pieces got into the house, now these like small details are starting to come together, and it's really starting to happen.
Let's just focus. There's plenty of time to talk about that in the third segment.
Okay.
Regarding what if I bump into issue, very simply, is if the story could exist in the mainline MCU. That defeats the purpose. I love not Foggy. Who does Favreau play in the MCU? He plays
not Foggy.
Tony's boy.
Yeah.
He also played Foggy for my boy Batfleck.
Pudgy. He plays Pudgy. He plays Salty. No, that's Charlie. Like, guys.
And that's also the name of John's Ding Dong.
Every fourth thing.
From that public
is that code? God damn.
Happy Hogan. There's an episode. It's around Christmas. It's like their Christmas episode, which should have been billed as like their 2008 Christmas special, because it's a fun story. There are what if elements, but the literal what if element they set up, slight spoiler, is a villain that's already been defeated. Right. They're like, He got out of jail, though. He had time to plan. Fuck yourself. There's nothing what if about that story other than Foggy gets some special shit going on.
Yeah.
But you could have done that with like
No,
then they
I-
gave him an antidote.
I
No,
hear what
lame.
you- No, but here's the thing for
I didn't hear what you said. I dismissed
yeah,
it.
I know. He's like,
Out
no,
of
you're
there.
stupid. I'm sorry.
I
Shut
wonder
up.
why my dating's not working out.
But yeah, no, like I remember buying what if comics off of the drugstore rack because I am old as
Yeah,
shit.
back in the fucking 20s when you got that.
Shut up. But you needed those big over the top, like what if Thor just killed everybody in the Marvel universe. You needed something to draw you out. The benefit, I think, of having a relatively captured audience is you can also throw out a minor deviation from what we know to be true.
Sure. That you don't think that would have worked? That same exact episode. I'm assuming you saw it.
It did.
That exact episode. If you made it 45 minutes and you
Yeah.
made it like an animated holiday special, you don't think that works better than being in the What If series?
Why does it bother you just by the sheer notion? Of
I
it
just
being
feel like
the what
it's.
if?
I feel like it's a wasted slot in the season 2
Yeah,
lineup.
But
There's
that's only if there were not episodes within the lineup where you're like, okay, yeah, no, that 100% has to be what if because of what we know to be current continuity. But you're like, why? Why would you tell this story now? This is. You want to talk about covered ground before? Look,
yeah. Let's get into that.
So my girl Haley
Atwell. Ooh.
So she.
Let's just
has
take a second
had-
to appreciate.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Delicious.
But she has had more bites at the apple than Adam and Eve.
Has she had
and Eve, if he passed it back to her,
Have we seen
a third time?
Captain Britain
No,
as many times as Captain America at this point?
I don't know.
Is it
bro.
just because she's available?
It's. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Because let me tell you this, they do another Captain Britain story. It's literally the only sequel, and they did that thing I hate in television and in movies, where they open the episode with like, "Why would we tell you a sequel to an episode we've already done?" And they literally teased up season 3's installment of like, once again. Oh shit, Christian's wife. I'm so sorry.
Christian's
to
like,
talk about
keep her working. She needs to keep me in the fucking style to which I've become accustomed. I apologize. Christian. I immediately take it back.
Those enormous chesticles have been dibbed.
Don't mess with his wife. Relax, bro.
He appreciates when people notice.
He knows.
He knows. He's like me in that way. He's like, hey guys, you see these tits? Look at these things. Apologize to the Mrs. Cortez. For me, again, that's one of those things that if you wanted to do a Peggy Carter, like a what if series, to me it feels like, well, now I would at least be less irritated if they took all the Peggy Carter shit they wanted to tell from this version.
Yeah.
Is the same version of season 1, so it's just more of that character, that exact version of Captain Marvel, of Captain Britain. Do 5 episodes and get it out of your system, because it is hat on a hat.
So we've seen her cinematic adventures.
We saw her die.
We have got her own. We saw her die.
Seen her bifurcated, which
we've seen
Christian's been trying to do for years now.
Her live action Captain Britain adventures. We have seen now multiple installments of her animated versions. Like at some point, either do something different with the alternate version of a look.
Yeah.
And she's a fantastic actor. I'm not taking anything
No,
away
she's
from her.
more of her always.
So use her plenty. That's fine.
I also don't think
I'm
we
saying
need
this particular iteration. And here's the one thing that they have not done. Yeah,
I think there was a little rushed.
her makeup was real bad. She looked like she was just in the sauna for too long.
Oh yeah, that's insulting. But let me
not
ask you.
great.
Let me ask you this: on the opposite side of that, where maybe we've seen a
Not
little
enough?
bit too much as far as the not enoughs of it all. I thought,
I've got one.
hit me.
I've got one right away. I want to see as many generations back or forward, quite frankly, because anything's on the table now. I want to see as many Black Panthers as you can. As you can,
Fucking cool.
you can just jam them in there. Just
Anytime you do like, what if the Avengers happened it basically was like, what if the Avengers happened in '88? Like, they were just like It's fucking Howard Stark. It's King T'Chaka. It's fucking
Also, there was
tits.
there were a bunch of them.
No, I'm sorry, but
like,
also
if you put East and West Coast together,
yeah.
were there this many?
But also, when you talk about, so for me, what ifs boil down to you either have a lot of fun. What if Nebula was a Nova Corp, or you inform me about a character? And one thing I was shocked at was Winter Soldier shows up in the it's basically a what if the Avengers started earlier, and he shows up
as a side effect,
right. as other shit's popping off. And John, they did care in 22 minutes. They gave me more character on a character that has had a series already.
Also, as well as the best thing that Hank Pym has done in the entire
incredible
Marvel cinematic endeavor.
Honest to God, if
I cared more about Hank Pym in this 20-minute installment, that he didn't have the main stage for, quite frankly. Also, as well as those powers were shown multiple variations of that technology,
unbelievable,
used to great interest and success.
Unbelievable,
dude. The animation is still, and we live in a world of Cowboy Bebop. We live in a fucking world where the walls have been knocked down. You can do so much great storytelling still. And also in animation, and we just don't do it.
And also, if you wanted to,
the best Spider-Man that we've gotten after decades of Spider-Man has been in the animated format.
In my opinion,
nobody argues the point.
In my opinion, it's because it is in our. Well, we'll get to that in 1 second.
Oh, okay.
You don't even have to bother. I'll read that out.
I was
in a second.
Oh, that's good.
Because I want to talk about that. But even if before we specifically talk about animation, because I don't want to totally lose that thread before the segment's done. If Marvel really was in the sort of trouble that Ellis is alluding to, where everyone's saying like Marvel is dead. If Marvel said, "Hey, we're gonna take a few years off to regroup because there's a lot of shit going on," so instead you're gonna get live action, we're going to give you that other Avengers lineup. We're gonna cast the King T'Chaka. We're gonna bring in fucking Howard Stark. I would watch.
When you say his name that way,
T'Chaka.
It just makes me think of the little hairy guy from Land of the Lost. I would pay money to see him as the Black Panther.
Fair enough.
The aliens attack him.
How dare you?
Hairy.
But there's Mina, like you were saying, that version. I hate you guts. That version of Ant-Man, I think, is like, I think it's almost if enough people saw it, I think everyone would agree. Like this, and I love me some fucking Gooberson from Ghostbusters, Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd. Those Ant-Man movies left a lot to be desired.
They did, yeah.
The powers never looked cooler. The character was never written better, in my opinion, than that one episode. And I thought that particular lineup of like would-be Avengers, I thought was incredible. Now moving, before we get back to animation, because I don't want to lose it. Christian over on Facebook, because we are totally live week after week, unless I take times off because I get grumpy when I'm moving. There was an awesome fan created idea / pitch for a Marvel show about the very first Black Panther, and I'm so on board for something like that. Imagine Wakanda was a Black Panther anthology. That to me, take your time. I said rub it out. Which I don't want you to do on the show.
You don't know.
Maybe on Twitch.
Anything can happen.
That's the sort of shit when Marvel makes these weird missteps about like, what should we do? You have characters that we know exist. We know that the original Ant-Man and Wasp had adventures, right?
Yeah.
We know that people like Ellis will call it a Billy Zane Phantom ripoff, just to get under my skin. How dare you? The first movie I ever remember, when he took off his mask, the makeup went away, and I was furious.
Yeah, of course.
I was like a little kid. It really fucked up my day.
People can say what they want. The Phantom was an OG, son.
It's true. It's
OG.
true.
Because he had a Saturday morning cartoon with Tarzan, and was it with Tarzan? No, it was with, who was it? There was a magician involved.
I guarantee it was better than the fucking live action.
It was crazy.
The live action Sci-Fi Channel.
Look, man.
Version. That was terrible.
Look, poor Billy Zane.
Billy Zane's version's the best version.
Billy Zane should have been our Lex Luthor decades ago.
But he would have.
I'm still not.
He would have fucked up everything because he would have made like being bald super cool. So a bunch of people would have just started bicking their heads for
Charlie,
fun.
bro, in 2024,
Way before Stone Cold.
half of our population is going to side with Lex Luthor.
That's true.
Like James Gunn has
More
to
than half,
prepare
yeah.
himself.
They're like, that Superman more like spick in space. Like, hey, goddamn.
He is
You know
riding a horse through the jungle. Who can do that?
Fucking Brad Bird directing a 60s set Ant-Man movie. Like, come the fuck on. That's how you fill gaps. That's how... And again, I do think it's connected to What If, because what If really should do is it should open up people's minds to what is some shit you would want to see. In my opinion, we have yet to see a great Ant-Man movie, and I don't want to hear this bullshit of shrinking and growing big can't be interesting.
Probably.
I just watched it be interesting.
Shrinking and going big can't go. Oh, you didn't want to hear
You're everyone. I fucking figured it out.
I'm sorry.
You're all over Twitter, but
so I would
specifically
say that
through animation.
just real quick, though, before we move on.
Yeah.
To that point, I think that it should also as well as be, and you can even do like an every other episode type thing, because that's what Black Mirror does.
Yeah.
Black Mirror says, okay, here's what we think you're saying you want. Here's what we want, and we're going to make you like, because we're doing it in an awesome way. The other thing that this series can do, an anthology series in this style, first and mostly, it can give you multiple styles. That's one strike against it. Something like Animatrix did so
against it.
A strike against it.
Oh, that everything looks alike.
It's a universal art style, whereas Animatrix mixed up the style.
Even Visions, which Disney did.
Visions did, even though they didn't do quite.
Visions season 2 is not good, in my opinion.
But that all being said, they can also give us shit that we weren't clamoring for. Yeah. That we didn't realize.
Low stakes.
We were gonna love. Why not? Why not do like a guaranteed fucking lowbrow thing, relatively, and then here's some concept shit that you may or may not like, but if you like it, you'll love it. That's something, like, they didn't necessarily take risks.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
It seems a little...
You can play it safe.
Yeah.
And be very, very successful. Or you can step out. Maybe it won't be universally accepted, but, like, the people that dig it will dig it hard.
Well, the one thing I'll say, and I want to get to Ellis's question first because I think it's very important. Does a man have control over individual parts? Can he just make his dick big?
Just no.
It's like he'd have to throw one of those discs at it.
He would, yes, and
or would that make you all big?
There's also, I mean,
because then you just rock Giant Man.
What if you have a giant schwanz but still 2 regular sized balls? Like, there's just too many.
It's embarrassing. Is what you're saying.
There's too many question marks, quite frankly.
If Visions did an episode with anything that does an episode with Muppets.
Hey, man.
Yes, please.
Fucking Generation V did it.
That's true. Gen V did it. I like that you called it Generation V.
Yeah.
Like an old
I'm
man.
a gentleman.
The cardigan and hat. I may not have to. Nope.
It's getting
Don't do it. Unless you're gonna cholo the rest of those buttons.
As we speak, I am turning into a Mel Brooks character.
Oh no. He hit us with the Let me ask you this. The one episode I do think was particularly ballsy, they did a non-English episode.
Yeah, well.
They did. Have you not seen that one yet?
No, I read the episodes.
Dude, the fucking whole... I kept expecting them to be like, and now they're going to transition into English like cowards, and they never fucking do.
Yeah.
Very ballsy, very cool, fun episode.
Visions did it! So, little...
So you don't get credit.
Little Springfield coming at you.
My final thought on What If Season 2, I do think...
Ellis was just saving up the material. I love it.
I hate that he, like... that stuff is not a joke. He's like, remember that famous episode of it? Like, there's no famous episodes of Angel, goddammit. Other than everything with what was her name? Carpenter?
Charisma Carpenter.
Charisma Carpenter in her moment.
She
up until Expendables, Dynamite.
So talented.
Ellis might be married to her. We need to watch out.
That's fine.
He pulls a Christian on us. Charlie.
The
thing I thought ultimately about Vision Season 2, having not finished it, I wish they would use this as an opportunity to show different looks and to take chances, because I think that's how we wind up with a Spider-Verse in the future, is like, do fucking one in chalk. Like, let's just fucking go for it, man. Yeah. And it's going to be jarring, but luckily they do that like every week release. So you're not binging it unless you choose to. And if you choose to binge it, which is totally fine, you're going to be committing some time anyway.
I'm a little bit annoyed to the bingers because I have so little
Pronounce that
time.
very carefully, please.
The Bingers. Soft R.
Those gingers are going to be furious.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
One had to shave her head to be in a movie.
Listen, that's what you get, kid. But that being said, really the only thing bad I can say about this second season thus far,
yeah,
and I reserve the right.
Last episode's just about we hate the Rivera. Like it's just them talking for 22 minutes.
I reserve the right to come back and change this opinion. However, it is played it a little bit safe, and if you're going to come back, if you're going to go back to the well, especially if you have done it well, different well, already. I firmly agree. There had to be, at least conceptually, certain things left on the floor or like saved for later. Why?
Yeah.
Why? In particular, when you are in a period of time where before where you may have been Teflon as a company, that shit ain't the case right now. Like, you need to be kind of like swinging from your heels, a little bit more. And while I don't like the reason why, I think it's hard for anybody to disagree with the fact that that's kind of where they're at in their cinematic endeavors.
Yeah.
Yo, man, go big. Why not? Why not? If not now, when?
At least the conversation would be like, what huge nuts Marvel has.
Absolutely. And I love having those conversations. I love huge nuts.
It's true. It's true. I've seen it. You have the opposite of Ant-Man's problem.
Yeah.
Giant nuts.
I'm like, oh no. Oh, that's just terrible. That's just terrible.
I'm going to, yeah, no, I agree. I agree totally.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it was mine. Yeah, so my final thought is also...
I went to take it, and I saw you, like, set the prop up, and I was like, it's the last episode of the year!
Look, again, anybody who says, first and first, mostly, at this time of the year, if they're sitting down and they've already ingested all of these episodes, they might be bullshitting you, but maybe not. Look, I don't know your life. But I do know if there are people, little trolls, just tapping on their keyboard, because that's all they can really do. Let's be honest, they probably tapped it like they one finger tap because they didn't even take typewriting in school. If they say, oh, Marvel's dead, oh, Visions 2 sucks, not worth watching, smack them in the face because they are one thing and one thing only. Ellis, this is earmuffs time. Just like that chinless son of a bitch with $4 billion burning a hole in his plaid pockets. They're a goddamn liar, Charlie. Why?
Because Han shot first.
Available at USComics stores that don't exist. Clink.
Just money. Oh, that's good. Oh my god. Oh, that aftertaste.
I'm a soprano. Not bad. Not bad.
No one else. I thought
those weren't words.
They were not.
Those were not words at all.
I thought genuinely. What if Greedo shot first? Then he wouldn't be a liar, I guess. We'd have no complaints.
I mean, I have a version on VHS that I could show you where that happened.
I also think that if Greedo shot first, and that was like the intention, and not stupid edit, we wouldn't have the prequels.
No.
Or they would be good. You know,
I'd
like
rather see the human version of Greedo than to see that sucker shoot first.
When I heard that Amazon Prime was gonna have a Batman special, I said, pardon, come again, Big Fudge. And then I saw a trailer, and I said, I'm not gonna watch that. I said, hard fucking pass. Sorry, Batman. Who is it? Little Dick It's Damian Wayne? Strike 3, you're out. And then you said, hey, Charlie.
The second that it was not Dick Grayson, I was like, oh, this Johnny Boy is gonna have to put in the work.
So you said,
let's get this kid to watch it.
Let's talk about it. We missed every movie we tried to see the last 3 weeks.
It's like we were banned from movies.
It was like we were banned, and we kind of were. Kevin Smith has that restraining order out on me.
Well,
I get it.
You earned it.
I sent them like 12 pairs of my underwear. What's the big deal?
I've seen that.
John, all it took was opening credits with a cartoon bat. Like at times skiing, he had a hat on. I instantly bought into the art style because of that opening credits bat. The music,
Was it the bat beard? Did
the bat beard killed me.
I was like, yo, this guy's got my brother's beard right now.
And John, then what followed was 90 minutes of me being like, what a fucking adorable
It was just fun.
movie.
No offense to any fans that might be out there. But I doubt that those two people are in our chat.
Yeah.
And while it may be a total and complete departure from the version of Damian that we have gotten in any other iteration of DC efforts, that might be the reason why I have never come across a more likable and easy to root for version of Damian Wayne.
The fact
I love this little rapscallion.
These fuckers got me. Like, not only did I kind of like Damian, I'm like, yo, if you sell a Damian plush right now with his little paper, the fucking
with the
paper,
SpongeBob,
shut the fuck up. Everything about in my opinion,
yeah,
every joke lands.
Yeah,
everybody does their job.
I even like the wrinkly baked potato version of Alfred. It's
he's like a hump.
It's like,
what hump, sir?
Batman's like, Alfred, I'm really a gifted scientist. I can remove that hump for you.
They managed to make a bearded Batman feel like the most cuddly son of a bitch ever. The concept is the 10-cent version. Man. The absolute 10-cent version of this is Batman succeeds, and Gotham over the last 6 years has become the safest city on Earth.
But he's like, oh, wow, I got stuff to do. I guess I'll just try now. That was their excuse. Like, wow, all of a sudden Gotham is it was like the Disneyfication of Times Square. Yes. They were like, oh, you want all the prostitutes and peep shows gone? All right, we'll try. And they did.
Yeah.
They did. There was a solid stretch of time where you could eat off the ground.
It was, and what was fucking amazing is it, and again, very low end spoilers, because I think you all, before the holiday season is truly past us,
watch it.
I think you have to check it out. It does. Christian brings up a good point. It does kind of feel like an in-universe Batman special. Like this would have been a gift. You remember how South Park they made for Friends?
Sure.
And then it wound up. This is some shit Clark had commissioned for Batman to be like, you little bitch.
Like, you adorable bastard.
There is something so true also about what Ellis said, where the idea of Damian Wayne stinks. Even if people like Damian, it's like, oh, Batman fucking forgot to wear a condom.
As long as
the guy who always prepares bullshit.
Well, all he had was a kryptonite condom. And
that's true.
For a buddy.
And that's just for a joke. John, to me, the entire special is perfectly encapsulated. They're doing a montage in the beginning of Gotham becoming safe. He puts away those villains, and then you see what he's doing now, and it's Batman at 2 p.m. in a bright sunny day in the park making balloon bat logos. It's a yellow oval with a bat.
Which I kind of like the drip wing.
My God, it was actually kind of fucking fresh.
Yeah, it's fun.
The absolute love and attention to all the Batman shit, which is something I think that a lot of creators who get a bite at that Batman sandwich, I think a lot of people come into it with love. They lead with love.
I mean, look, it's and there's been enough Batman material out there for forever now, it feels like, where if you are going to get a sniff in any capacity, be it live action, animation, campy, serious, whatever the hell, different channels, different streamers, puppet shows, whatever it takes. People have to kind of come correct, and they have to make things make sense now. You have multiple. I do like that Gunn already has clearly established, no, this is Elseworlds.
Yeah.
We're going to fucking say so. Don't worry about Joker live action. Don't worry about the Batman that's going.
See, I love that.
Baby Batman. Absolutely. And when things are done like this, I would classify this, Christian, I don't know if you agree, as a film guy, but I would say this isn't lampooning them, so to speak. I would say this is satire. When you come with satire, you can't come to the party unless you love that material or that genre, so to speak. You can't satire Batman properly if you don't love that rat bastard. You
Yeah.
have to. Like,
Yeah.
you have to. Imagine if Mel Brooks made any movies that he made and didn't love the shit that he was kind of like, taking the piss out of.
I mean,
You have to love it.
Spaceballs is the best example because
Ellis.
Spaceballs legitimately is like a great sci-fi romp while taking a piss on every sci-fi romp.
I respectfully, I wouldn't say it's the best example. Not in a world where like Young Frankenstein exists. And
Touche.
Blazing Saddles.
I was trying to keep it nerdy. I feel like Star Wars fits better.
I totally
Although
understand.
we did just talk about Dracula like 2 episodes ago. But for me, everything good about there are certain things that I always can point to and be like, well, this is why comic books as a jumping off point are magic. Go, go, go. I was
gonna say just to speak to the satire aspect of it. On the DC side of things, and that we now have also established as Elseworlds, fucking Peacemaker is kind of satire, while at the same time
it's in
doing
universe,
the best. Again, I mentioned it before. Blazing Saddles is at the same time a total spoof, total satirical Western, while at the same time being a fucking awesome Western.
Yeah.
Right? They tell that story, that quintessential story in such a way they're like, fuck, man, I hope Lepetime doesn't get away with it. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think you could do that completely within this genre.
Yeah.
Why not?
Christian dropped an interesting question. He said, if at all possible, what aspects of this Damian Wayne do you wish would be implemented into the regular Damian Wayne? He might be sillier, but maybe that'll help the cause. For me, you want to go first? You go first.
No, you go first.
For me, this is
probably gonna be the same.
This is Damian now. Like, I take the same way that Marvel has done such a good job of kind of recrafting some of their characters to fit the modern kind of telling.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, this is it. Bruce has had fucking Damian since he was a fucking baby.
Yeah.
There's none of this shit where it's a kid with a sword. You literally do it that this kid grows up worshiping at the fucking altar.
Doesn't know how to tie his shoes.
He's super enthusiastic, and I would probably fucking have Damian be even younger than I had him in my head. And my dream is to see a fucking Robin like kicking his little feet. I don't want the new DC cinematic universe to lose Dick Grayson. But if they have to, they have to. I think there's a way to do both.
Nightwing is the best version of Dick
And
Grayson.
the idea of jumping to the Nightwing stage is wonderful.
But we already kind of know that there's going to be a jump.
Yeah.
In what they're doing. I would say this. Projects like this tend to be a good litmus test for what your fandom they're willing to accept. And what they prefer, version A versus version B versus version fucking double Z.
Yeah.
In very, very much the same way that the Teen Titans were kind of like reestablished in that lighter vein.
Go.
That's, I think, the reason why Cyborg wasn't accepted in the Snyder skew of the character, which someone pointed out right here, and they were completely right. No, man, that's what this fucking cat was.
Yeah.
On the pages, he was an angry, resentful,
And what we wanted was,
tortured fucking dude. But the best version, like fun version,
yeah.
Like, well, this is just, I just like to ingest this shit.
What's very
There's
funny,
more of that other stuff around.
What's very funny is that version of Cyborg, the like, yeah, I'm fucking half robot and that's tragic and I'm basically RoboCop, but like fucking pizza's delicious. Like there is something, and
it is.
And my whole thing with specifically Cyborg in that dark universe. If you let that Cyborg, despite all that fucking awful shit, if you let him be like, well, I still have a stomach and pizza's good, bro, and I'm on borrowed time.
Yeah.
So I'm here to have fucking fun first. Like, yeah, we can save the world.
I mean, look,
there was a version you could have told that would have worked.
There's something to be said of a one-dimensional character.
Correct.
Regardless. So, like, I wouldn't want an all silly version either.
I think there's something beautiful in that tragic turn. Those moments.
He's a fucking
I would go as far as if you want to instantly win me when we do the eventual reveal of the costume.
And I do.
Thank you, buddy. If you show Damian, right away I'd be like, fuck the domino mask. We're giving the kid goggles. I would give him like straight up fucking goggles. You can make him tactical goggles. Do whatever the fuck you want. Give the boy goggles because I want them to allude.
Shopping at the Tom Clancy stuff.
I want them to allude to this version honestly, I'm sorry, Christian brought it up in the chat indirectly. Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Fun fact. Sorry for those of you who liked it. In my expert opinion, fucking the comic book Miles Morales stunk. The Spider-Verse version of Miles.
They still can't figure out what
It
they
is,
want to
John,
do with them.
it is not a comparison of like the character was a 7 and they made him a 10. The character was a dud. He was a 3 and they made him a 10 in Spider-Verse.
He wasn't too excited. I got news for you. Spider-Man 2099 wasn't super exciting.
Correct, yeah.
Either. He was like, oh, that's a...
I like the fact that I liked his Latinus.
But to
Go
a
woke,
degree,
go broke in the fucking 90s.
Just to a degree. And that was, again, before that was even a
I
thing.
know, I was mocking people who fucking say that
But
shit.
I will say this also as well as...
I do love Carrie Kelly.
Why are we not talking about how this adventure is Home Alone?
Well, the first half is Home Alone, and then it does a whole second movie.
Yeah, but...
The Home Alone aspect
It's Home Alone.
Also, though, like, you know how the fucking Guardians got a Christmas special?
Mm-hmm.
I would do the 22-minute live-action Christmas, like, recreate the Home Alone part when you get that actor. Like, fucking, are you kidding me? Like, I would call that... Now beyond Disney, do the ultimate team up everyone wants. I would do Home Alone 7, Escape from Wayne Manor.
You could probably get most of that cast.
How fun fucking would that be?
Even the
I'm petrified where this is going. I feel like you have to say it now. Are you getting canceled at the finish line of the year?
I want Kristen to pull another soundbite because Charlie just, and I quit. He's like, I'm fun fucking. I'm like, what else? What else is it for, bro?
Ladies.
Yikes.
John, this to me was, and we're gonna get to like the year as a whole.
Yeah.
When you talk about having fun with established characters,
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, you see, fucking Merry Little Batman, because it was one instantly. I have to watch this every year. I've already made the decision. It's a quick 90 minutes. It's fun as fuck. You can like do something else, and every time you look up something kind of like, fun to look at.
What part is it at right now?
It hit every important. There's a lesson to be learned. People grow and change. But also ultimately, my favorite thing about it.
Friends become enemies. Enemies become
Exactly.
friends.
My favorite part though is there's genuine like clips. There's moments I will think about. There's a gag with Damian has to get rid of marshmallows. That is the most on the nose joke ever.
Yeah.
And I literally the whole time, at one point, I'll go as far as this spoiler. At one point, he has to spit out a marshmallow or accidentally spits out a marshmallow. The animation is hilarious. Like I want to make it the wallpaper on my phone, like for next Christmas. I loved everything about it.
It was just it was just fun, and maybe this is my final thought, and then you bring home, but it might require for you to take the shots, like take the swings, take the at bats,
to get drunk.
It might require this level of comfortability that people have with a character where they have ownership. They don't need as much of the the machinations to get you there, so to speak. They were really able to jump in and hit the ground running with this, which is clearly animated for children. But anybody who has
a heart,
anybody who has sat through an episode of SpongeBob or Ren and Stimpy, or I mean, there's at this point there's dozens of examples of how this animation style is for anybody, old, middle or young. Anybody can enjoy it, and I think that anybody who sits down for it, we still have a few minutes left in the holiday season.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody who sits down has even a slight recollection of what Batman is and his kind of like those relationship with the wards. And this one's actually his. I think it's anyone and everyone will enjoy it. So fucking do it, man. Stop being such a Scrooge.
My final thought on it is I do think that this is one of those, like, it's accidentally very special. And the cool thing about holiday stuff is it kind of has that cheat code, because you get a whole, generally speaking, people will celebrate at least 25 days of the Christmas season. So you need to fill that time with shit that'll help keep your heart big, right? This to me.
Well, that's dangerous.
In a large heart, hey man, if you gotta go out, you gotta go out.
God damn, hippo heart he got.
I just think there is something really great about getting another. We'll get to those in a sec. But there's another kid on the block that gets added to my Christmas list. How can you hate that? Going to what Ellis said.
Yeah, why not?
Again, the art. I personally, when I saw the trailer, I was like, that is fucking terrible. He went on to say that it looked like someone from Schoolhouse Rock trying to draw Batman from memory. That's kind of the charm.
It was
the
like
charm city of it all.
Like the desks in detention have a very, very specific illustration style.
It is. Christian nailed it on the head. Very specific insult.
100%.
But it's nonetheless. Christian also dropping his idea.
Giving stuff away.
I'm saying
to billion-dollar companies.
I mean, or $20 companies like us. Crazy idea for a Damian movie. What if we get a film where we witness Damian's rise in two separate realities? One where he's raised from birth by Batman. The other his mama, with her fucking with grandpa just dead and undead all the goddamn time. Both teaming up to save both dimensions of total collapse. Only realized there were great aspects in both. I would love this for an animated. I don't know if it's a little bit
deep
for live action.
Fucking nature versus nurture could be a very, very good premise for anything that's, tights and capes related. Yeah. So I say fuck yes.
To finish out the segment, I'm gonna tag up Ellis's comment. You know who draws Batman awesomely? Me. You know who doesn't color amazing Ghostbuster patch ideas? Also Ellis, because he drew an amazing Christmas appropriate patch for the charity. He's nice enough to donate his talent to the Long Island Ghostbusters.
Like a great guy.
Yet he never colored it in or sent it to me again. And after I complimented it, he kind of told me to go scratch.
See this, Ellis? See what we're dealing
with?
Ho,
ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
This cat is my roommate now. Oh, trouble.
Yeah, it's bad.
Trouble.
John made dinner the other night. I was like, this is it?
He's like, Tui,
no dessert as well?
Now do my dishes, bitch.
John, it's the holiday season, and let's pay some bills. Luckily for all of you, we're not a couple of, even during Christmas, when people are really trying to convince us to lie and say that we played a mobile game or to get a Razor of the Month club for our bunions. We're not like other pods. We're not going to bullshit you with some random brand that's willing to throw us a couple bucks. Because once again, guys, we are brought to you by one of our absolute favorite bands. And then, of course, is Bad Mary. You heard them at the beginning. You're going to see and hear them again at the end. If you're wondering where else you can catch their act, you can follow them at Bad Mary Band across all social media platforms. You can support them over on patreon.com/Bad Mary Band. You can stay up to date at badmary.com for merch and upcoming performances. My favorite part, John, if you want to hear some Bad Mary, they're on every single music streaming site.
Damn straight. And then it does still beg the question, even though the clock is ticking, where we drop. And as always, it is with Sergeant Finesse Gaming. The Sarge has been through it, guys. So he is going to be going from an official full-time streamer. Once the ball drops, his ball is going to drop also. He'll be shifting to a part-time streamer, going to work for the General. But he's still worth checking out.
The car
guy? Nope, but they have certain other elements in common. Yeah, so you can still check him out. Occasionally he'll do a dual stream on Facebook. Facebook Gaming, if you still want to call it that. But mostly he's on Kick doing his thing over there. Again, it'll just be PM streams from now on moving forward. But just a great guy, great fucking streamer. He's a real dude too. He's not he put on like these fake affectations like we do. So he's a real cat. Check him out, whatever he's playing. He plays a lot of WoW, but he does COD like they do, and he checks out new games and stuff like that. Also, as well as he was here briefly, check out Jokers_stream_ over on Twitch. A fantastic streamer. Fortniter like it was meant to be. He builds shit and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. Goddamn tryhards. But he's nasty, nice, cool freaking dude. Also, as well as I'm gonna throw it in here, coming up in the new year, we are going to be promoting friends and new friends, old friends, lots of projects going on. We're going to talk about a very specific project momentarily, maybe none bigger than this, but yeah, man, if nothing else, if you want to come to this channel and disagree with us almost exclusively, you are more than welcome to. But the one thing that you cannot ever disagree with us is when we make a recommendation to check something out. It's because we have done so, whether we're involved or not. If we love it, we want to share that shit with you. So we have a very, 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 very special friend of the channel, cat that we've been running with for about a minute now. Christian's been part of our life for a minute now. But yeah, man, Christian Cordes, Charlie, you wanna give him the news?
So you get very last second, you get a holiday special coming to you in the 0 hour. So Merry Little Batman will not be the last, and we were lucky enough to play very, very small parts in a special that's coming up.
Small, I'm not.
We're still working on it, but we're looking at maybe a special Saturday drop. We are waiting on Christian to kind of confirm availability. But hopefully this Saturday we'll be back right here on the internet, showing you something like pretty goddamn amazing.
All of a sudden we're like Grounds fucking the theater. What's that shit called again?
Grumman?
Not Grumman's. That's the guy that built the jets. Anyway, the Chinese theater, except we're race appropriate. The Puerto Rican theater, firmly here on the island. But yeah, guys, it's just like very, very. We talk about like a fun thing, like raise your spirits, you enjoy yourself. For a period of time, shut out all the bullshit in the world, but we'll be dropping information all throughout.
Do you want to mention a couple of our guests we have lined up for next year?
Want to do that already?
Let's do it. Coming to you before we talk about 2023. Let's talk about 2024. We are going to strong arm.
It's coming up.
We are going to strong arm Ellis to come back on the show. We are going to strong arm Christian back on the show. We're going to try desperately to strong arm Mike, although he is oh so strong, and his wife just will drop elbows on us. But hopefully we'll be back with those absolute studniks throughout the year. I also am in early talks with some of my favorite local wrestling talent. We're trying to sign them on now, which is always wonderful. We can keep the rest till after the 2023
well, you know what,
segment if you want.
What I want to do is, and again, guys, just hang in with us. When we do this, I want to start dropping the socials, because a lot of times it allows fans and friends of one thing to get familiar with quite another.
Like do your research.
Yeah, a little bit. So
the same way you watch episodes, like learn about this fucking guest coming up.
We've got professional actors, we have professional comedians, we've got professional creators on the hook. We've got people like that's their job, is to go out into the world and hunt down classic mint toys and then flip them shit, something that you might have seen since you were a child. We've got huge YouTubers lined up. We've got some stuff going on.
It's gonna be
mostly because we realize our own limitations, and especially when we agree with each other on 90% of stuff, ain't a lot of shit to talk about.
That's why we get Vigo, because Vigo never agrees.
Vigo's joining us from the depths of hell. Yeah, man, 2024 is going to be a very, very fun year.
And I'm sure it'll be filled with Ellis straight up lying. Ellis is like, check your email. I checked my email. He just texted to me. The art's amazing, and it's apparently been done for 7 months. Son of a bitch.
Nothing like timing, Ellis. Well done as always, brother.
You know what? That's really what we should do. We should start inviting these like people online who like just talk shit about everything that we like or love, or just drop statements like Marvel and DC are dead. Be like, come on the show.
Like, why do you think that? I don't see your hands. No.
What if we just
no one finger typing?
What if we just
podcast
oh my god
crossover for days?
The monosyllabic, not like I just imagine them freezing up.
Just real quick, guys. I do want to say, obviously, Christian does his own thing better than almost anybody else that does it. But Christian puts in the work for the Jersey boys over there.
Live from the Secret Stash.
If you're not checking out the Live from the Secret Stash podcast, you're doing yourself a great disservice, because what we try to do most weeks, they do every friggin' week.
That's true.
And they drop true fucking knowledge.
Those are clerks working at a Kevin Smith owned comic book store. Are you fucking kidding me?
Talk about a hat on a hat.
That is a hat on a hat, but it's a hat that has little like moose ears on it.
Yeah, no, it's like a delightful
$45 sign.
Silk banded fucking beaver skin hat. Just the kind of shit that brings snowmen to life and smiles on your face.
What's ironic is Ellis is threatening to start 2 YouTube channels. One channel that loves everything, one that hates everything. I guarantee those views would not be even.
Are you gonna name it Fox Comics and CNN Comics? Because, quite frankly, I think you can't miss.
That's
if
true.
you do it that way.
But John,
Charlie,
I think it's that time.
word.
The question we asked before was what if? Before we ask what's next,
Yeah.
let's take a look at.
Oh, is that the section of those? What bitch?
What bitch is your every year?
That's my bad.
What bitch is always, and at the movies when someone tells you to shush and you don't wanna, which is never the case. It's always you trying to calm me down.
Don't kick the back of my seat. Just whatever you do.
You fucking jerks.
Just
John,
stop it.
2023 in nerddom.
Yeah.
First of all, 2023 is one of the weirdest.
Weird year, man.
It's a weird year for me personally and entertainment wise.
Because of that hoodie?
Because of this very blue hoodie.
I get it.
It's impossibly blue. It is like so
It's
blue.
got a battery pack.
It's safe for walking at night. 2023 for me was a very, very strange year. It started fucking rocky, became like personally a kind of incredible year, like right at the fucking like finish line. It was like, fine, we'll let your year be fucking awesome. As far as my personal shit goes, charity work's never been better. As far as my brother time, we've never had more fucking kind of one-on-one time, despite not getting the chance to see all these movies. And then where the real fucking oddity lies is we had the writer strike, we had the actor strike, we had Marvel and we had DC wrap up a time in their cinematic history that I think will go down as
Johnny.
It'll go down as the worst of times, despite having like a Batman and Robin and Superman 4 out there. There's some people that like it, but they didn't have any money apparently.
Forget about the artistic, the artistic aspect of it. It just wasn't successful, right? It wasn't successful. They would be the first ones to tell you, well, not them, but the people that were there who have been shown the door would tell you, no, this is not the end result that we wanted. And, for whatever reason, look, if you love the Snyderverse, I didn't, but I'm not gonna debate you on it. If Rocky Road is your favorite ice cream, okay. All right.
That's the rub, right?
But if they stop selling it because it wasn't popular, that's just what it is. That's where we're at now.
Here's what I get annoyed with. This is the only thing I'll say about it. Because for the show, I sometimes go like, nope, my opinion's right. The truth is, I like when people like shit. That's my favorite. Like if you're telling me that The Flash was your favorite superhero movie ever, God bless that you were able to watch something differently than I was able to watch it. And I'll probably quiz you, like, what did you love about it? Like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
In the
but
nuance.
Not because you're trying to catch somebody out of something.
No. It's
like, oh, you love this? That was really dumb.
It's someone.
No, it's like help me.
Yeah.
Help me get a measure of a little bit of the smile that you got from this particular project or another.
It sometimes happens with you. Like sometimes I'll be talking about a movie's sound design.
Very smart.
And you look at me like, you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, and part of the game that I like when having those conversations is like, well, this one scene has like a very specific musical cue that they tag up at the end. And if you notice it, it kind of changes the vibe. Like, no, that means he was bullshitting. And it kind of recontextualizes
I
the
bet he sneezed.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a record skip.
For me though, a lot of my pleasure is derived from, I can watch someone like eat a sandwich, and if they're really into it, I'm like, fuck yeah, man, good for you in that sandwich. My point though, I think ultimately is, you gotta sometimes put your money where your fucking mouth is. And all these Snyderverse people talk shit and then didn't see The Flash. They talked all the shit and then they didn't see Aquaman. And I think this year,
kind of like the WNBA.
Exactly like the WNBA, not to borrow too much from Burr, but like, yo, you fucking want people to support it, but you're not going to support it?
Like, not me, I mean other people.
Exactly. So what I find interesting is the pandemic is mostly behind us. Very unfortunately, it still affects a ton of people. I mean, but I think generally speaking, the public is like, man, what? It's like the flu, right? Not exactly, not for everyone. But I don't want to have that convo.
You're not at home under lock and key.
Correct. And we have the ability to go back to theaters. And on occasion, we saw people run to the theaters. There were movies that made money. Some of those tent pole films, though, weren't. Fucking your boy Tom Cruise was on an undefeated streak. He came out on the other side. He held back Top Gun for what, 3 years? He came back and everyone saw Top Gun. What happened with Mission Impossible? They released a not particularly great movie and no one blindly saw it.
I thought we said we weren't going to talk about that.
I apologize, but I think we have to.
Next thing I know, you're going to try to be throwing up indie in my face.
I'm not going to see that. That's you mentioned it, but I wouldn't. Bad enough the aliens hurt you. At least we got Crystal Skull vodka. Christian brings up a valid point. He may not be a major fan, but he's never going to celebrate the downfall of another creator. Zach had a vision that he tried. That alone is incredible. And I 100%
no, absolutely
agree with that.
And Christian, I would add an addendum to that. Not an addendum. I would tack something onto that. There are some cats who only because they put shit out there, you realize, oh, okay, this is what you're best at, right? And I honestly just think Zach is the type of guy. He's a fucking fantastic visual director, but his ideas just aren't so great. And they're just not great.
And again, the thing I'll say is I also don't wish anybody bad. But at some point you have to go like
Putin's kind of a douche.
Yeah. At what point though do you say, okay, well maybe someone needs to be elsewhere? Because my understanding is his movie on Netflix. I haven't seen it because I don't have that much time to kill.
Yeah.
And it does not look good for me. It looks like a Star Wars knockoff, which apparently is kind of its origin.
Well, yeah,
but
it
it's
was
doing well.
Supposed to be a Star Wars movie, and they were like, nah.
This is kind of stupid.
And he said, all right. And then he just like,
which is
scrubbed the trademark.
Fucking awesome. That right there, you've described an awesome thing so far. Now, with that being said, maybe he is one of those creators that people will support it if it feels free because it's doing well on Netflix. But no one individually pays for that.
But they
maybe
already have Netflix. You're right. Maybe Netflix is like the perfect kind of like warm embrace because while the reviews, and I am not the type of person that puts stock in reviews.
Unless it's mine, and even then you like scoff.
Even then I'm like, that bitch was drunk. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I won't let a review sway me to see or not see a movie if I've already had my heart set on it.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is that there are so Saltburn is a good example. For me because the various things that I've heard, like diametrically opposed opinions, can't both be true. They can't both be accurate. So fuck. Now I guess I have to just to determine what side of the fence it's gonna be, which is kind of a shitty thing, man. If you're gonna see something, if you're gonna give your time to something, do it with like an open heart to keep Christmas in it all. Don't do it out of like a sense of obligation. Don't do it as a sense of like, see, I told you, like a got you moment. Yeah. Come on, there's so much great material out there that gives back.
Yeah, and again, I do not think everything has to be meaningful. I don't think everything has to be important. I think some shit is allowed for some people.
Yeah, junk food exists for a reason.
And this is a very good point. I'm so glad.
Example.
I was one of those people that I saw the trailer for Wonka.
Yeah.
And I went, you would need to chain me and drag me to see that piece of shit. Then Christian, who I love and trust, goes, maybe my favorite movie of the year. I fucking cried. I loved it. And I go,
Christian,
is it a different Wonka movie?
Can I ask, is it at any degree part of your affinity for the Muppets and the fact that my man Timothy Chalamet is dressed exactly, his Wonka outfit is exactly what Gonzo was wearing in Muppet Christmas Carol?
It might be.
I feel like it's got to be a little,
even if it was subconscious,
a little bit like there's a little bit of They Live where he's just like, he didn't have the glasses on and he's like, watch this movie, consume. He's like, I must see that shit. I must see it. I love it.
But let's just talk about some of what has transpired in 2023 because I'm very, very curious.
Do it, man.
About
you're making some of it.
So again, we can call it out if we didn't see it and maybe why.
So Snyderverse is dead.
Snyderverse is dead. Now we did see
guilty of that. For me, that's kind of the
biggest
thing.
We saw a lot of it. Specifically, I decided not to watch Aquaman.
Okay.
There was no fucking point. You just didn't have time.
Are you not gonna watch it when it goes to streaming?
No. Why the fuck would I?
Okay. No,
Again,
will.
if Christian or even Ellis, who like breaks my balls a lot, so Ellis, I'll know if you're lying. If someone came to me and said like, "No, man, there's some action sequences you're gonna like," one of my friends, who respectfully, my buddy Sean, tends to a little bit like everything. He was
Which
like,
we've been
"What
accused
a,"
of.
all the time. I'm consistently. He said like, "What a fucking waste of time." And to me, like, my time is precious because I like rewatch fucking Smoking Aces.
Now,
I think I know I enjoy.
But my question there would be, okay, was it a waste of time because the continuity that movie exists in now no longer exists moving forward, or was it a waste of time just structurally as a standalone flick? Again, we're talking about a movie that was. Or still is to this day DC's most financially successful
$1 billion,
effort.
Yeah, he to me said like every couple of minutes he was like, "Please Jesus, let this be over." And I asked him like why he didn't just bail, and it's because he's like, "I'm not gonna fucking throw away $20," which is like ultimately what the cost is. Let's go all the way back. I'm gonna skip some.
See it.
And obviously, if the chat really wants us to mention something, just really quickly, Quantumania for me. Endlessly disappointing. So much talent in a movie at the time, but pre Jonathan Majors getting fired. Again, I don't really want to talk about. We could talk about the Jonathan Majorsness of it all. I don't want to talk about the accusations and the verdict in terms of like, what a shame that a man can't get. Like, I don't want to dive into that because I don't fucking know enough about it.
That's a well.
What I do want to talk about, and we'll get to even that in a second. What I do want to talk about is Quantumania. Had fucking Bill Murray in it, Paul Rudd, Jonathan Majors when he's fucking red hot on the back of fucking Creed 3.
Yeah.
Everything that could have gone right for that film did, in my opinion, except for like the cinematography, the special effects, the script, the performances.
Well,
like it sucked.
That movie, and I'm sure that there is, even if it's a single individual out there, that's their favorite comic book movie.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. That movie to me was the personification, the cinema version of a baseball team that on paper is like a World Series winner before you play a game.
Yeah.
And then they take the field and fucking trip over their own cleats and face plant in front of, opening day crowd. It was just, and I didn't walk into that movie.
You weren't rooting for it. I feel like
I think it's safe to say that I don't pay good money or let Charlie pay good money for me to walk into a movie and do this shit. Like,
no,
entertain me. I'm ready because this is gonna suck. I don't do that.
The popcorn alone gets us like geared up for a good time.
Yeah,
you don't really
even
eat
if I'm only
food.
there for the trailers. That's popcorn time. I just don't do that. But
the soundtracks we were robbed from what would have been the Edgar Wright Ant-Man trilogy. That alone breaks my little heart. Christian saying something very similar. He enjoyed the first one, second one less so. He said he dug both actually. But again, what could have been the auteur version of Marvel, I think is very different. John, let's change gears quickly. A movie that I really enjoyed that was originally going to be on HBO Max, and then they like bumped it up a little bit. Fucking maybe the superhero movie of the year. Maybe it's not much of a competition, but I'm still surprised. Blue Beetle for me was everything good about superhero movies that are very like a popcorn superhero movie. Didn't leave me. It didn't make me a different person. It didn't particularly tell a very, very unique story. It didn't even tell a unique morality tale. However, entirely competent. The suit looked great. I thought all the performances were great.
Yeah.
Alluding to a DC's past that maybe we'll get, maybe we won't. He's very much in the middle, and we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen to this poor actor. But just pound for pound for that hour and 40 minutes, my favorite superhero movie of the year. Really? I had an incredibly good, especially considering its competition. To me, it was like, hey man, I was not expecting this to be nearly as competent or as good as it was.
So for me, it was good.
The villain kind of was.
It was all right. It was all right. There certainly wasn't anything in it that I like hated,
Yeah.
but it just didn't make me feel anything to that extent.
And what's interesting is you have rewatched it, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
There was enough
I
meat on the bone.
rewatched it to make sure Margot Robbie is a superhero.
You know
She can
what?
do anything she wants.
Good point. Barbie was the superhero movie of the year.
But what I was gonna say was, what that movie did was it kind of showed us that familiar story through a lens that we haven't really seen that much.
Yeah.
Especially in this genre. So for me as a Latin guy, that part was fun. But see, here's the thing, and I take a little bit of umbrage. This is maybe the one time that my
you're kind of saying
up.
it the same as Christian. Said
Well,
something very similar.
The truth of the matter is that, like, Latino, that's not a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing. You're talking about, I think there's, somebody can check my math, but I believe that there's like 22 or 23 very distinctive countries on different continents and stuff like that.
And this was a very like, Mexican-American.
No, Charlie, it was exclusively Mexican-American, which is fucking awesome, which is dynamite. But that's not speaking to like, I was like, yeah, I had breakfast like that. No, I didn't.
Well, what's funny
so it was unique, but it wasn't like mine.
What I liked
and
about
people
it,
make that assumption, like, oh, you must love that shit. I'm like, you racist fuck.
Yeah. Well, I think Black Panther set up a interesting. I think Black Panther set up an interesting narrative because that became like for every, and there's a billion black cultures as well, but Black Panther was like, this is for black people. And I think Blue Beetle, they at times tried to kind of sell it the same way. But you bring up a good point, like minus the Vicks, which is very true of our family.
Yeah.
Even parts of our family aren't particularly, they don't necessarily line up with how we were raised.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but
yeah, you're a New Eurekan, like to the fucking
but with that being said, to me, I get a lot out of any time a different culture shown, even if it's a cousin culture to mine. Because I kind of felt like with Ms. Marvel, seeing her family in the show, not so much the movie.
Oh, if her mother didn't shut the
we'll
fuck
get
up.
to it. We'll get to it.
We get it, lady.
But in the show version, I enjoyed seeing like what that particular Indian family was like. Let's keep it going, John. Let's go to the.
You have to give that Ellis comment love.
You can read it out. Read it out over on Facebook.
I could not possibly agree with Ellis anymore. El Chaplin, Colorado is the greatest Hispanic superhero that there ever was. Just little.
So you and I are the
little antenna bobbing.
You and I are basically the same person, right?
Yellow Converse.
You and I are the same person. Basically, I'm just like I've been stung by a bunch of bees.
Yeah.
And I'm younger, way younger, bitches.
Allegedly.
I don't know who the fuck that is. So like,
I have a pop of it.
That's all. That was enough for me to be like, hey, John's gonna really enjoy this. John, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, DC, following up a monetary. It did fine. Shazam 1. I think it left a lot to be desired. That third act really bothered me in the first Shazam, but I love fucking Chuck. You know, I love the actor. The sequel I didn't find at all offensive. The new Mary Marvel, god damn. God bless her, who I think was the Blue Beetle girl. Am I mistaken?
Yes.
Two different broads. They're both.
You're a racist.
Well, she was someone else. The Mary Marvel. Shazam was like one of those films that I was like, it's fine. I wasn't offended by it.
It was bad. It was bad for me. It was bad. They're just fucking up the entire true Captain Marvel. It's almost like they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
They really don't. And what was interesting to me was
luckily there's gonna be a reset.
The thought occurred to me actually for it, because when they said, "Oh, we're gonna do it as a 2-part, pair of movies," first of them, like, that's fantastic because there's so much material there that you're expected to translate. In a perfect world, much like for Dark Tower, I wanted a show.
Yeah.
But you run into the problem when you have young people cast, they tend to grow.
Stranger Things.
Don't drink any milk. Like, smoke cigarettes, stay little as long as you can.
11 right now is taking a photo in like a greased up
She's
thong.
like in
I'm
Victoria's Secrets right now.
That makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, eat an Eggo and put on a pants.
People are gross. But that being said, I knew that
And
that
to
was
be
gonna.
specific,
All
not
right.
no, just because
No, I'm sure this is very important.
out of context, it's fuck no, because it sounded like we said she was gross. It's not on her. It's that people sexualizing
Yeah,
who's a child in my mind.
she's a little bit of an asshole, but like it's not because of her age.
Fair
you know,
enough.
That's not that. But no. That being said, I don't know what I was gonna say. But regardless of the fact they grow so fast, if you're going to have a dedicated set of flicks and then bring these kids back, you better fucking do it. Oh, the Sarge is here. What's up, Sarge? That PM stream is over, brother. Hope the stream went well. I hipped the people to the new schedule coming up for the new year. So you can rewind a little back a little bit just to double check my facts. But good to have you, brother. No, Mildred Robert Brown. That's amazing. She's like writing books now and stuff, like a whole big person. No, it's like the way people kind of over sexualize so easily. Like, what are you doing? Like, give the kid a fucking break.
Ego and his parasite. I fucked up though, because Blue Beetle's not even close to my favorite movie of 2023 superhero genre wise. The fucking, in my opinion, one of the absolute best conclusions to a movie trilogy of all time. I absolutely love it endlessly. I fucking, something that makes me cry every time I watch it, and I still choose to watch it a dozen times.
Sure.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 closed out what I thought was a tremendous. You're on record. The first movie is the most goated for you. The second movie did nothing really for you. I forget, where did 3 fall for you? Volume 3.
Well, again, if I have to put it in order, because you're my brother,
Yay!
the only language you speak, I have to go 1, 3, 2 for my preference. And I also wasn't a giant fan of the holiday special, but I'm leaving it off the plate.
Yeah.
Regardless, and again, I realized it was fun. But I would kind of include Mantis in, Miss Marvel's mom category. Just you can shut up every once in a while. You don't have to talk every second you're on the screen. But no, I very, very much love that third installment. And anyone who says that this totally doesn't exist anywhere in reality, fucking raccoon did not make you cry as you sat there, they're full of shit.
They're full of shit.
No shot,
Still makes
no
me cry.
Han shot is involved.
Yeah.
They are lying, man. They are lying.
Did you wind up seeing...
Damn straight, Christian. Poor Billie Eilish. And I got news for you fucking nerds. She has no interest in you. So that makes me happy.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
You're joyful.
I'm like, yeah.
That's what you get. John, did you wind up seeing Rise of the Beasts, Transformers latest installment in 2023?
Yeah.
I thought equal parts, like way better than I think the average of Transformers.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the tease at the end, but not the execution.
You might not know him by looking around Charlie's toy-tastic fucking office here. His new affinity for G.I. Joe is just that. It's a new affinity. Charlie wasn't on the come up, man, when everything was G.I. Joe and Transformers and He-Man and sprinkling of Thundercats and stuff like that. So look, the truth of the matter is, I'll give this reference for you, which I'm sure you'll pick up far more. Beast Wars was far more your
Beast Wars was my shit.
Generational
and
shit.
They fucked it up.
Early CGI stuff, on TV.
The same team that did the movie I sequelized and brought to life. The Reboot. The team behind Reboot made Beast Wars.
Ellis, I'm gonna shoot you a link after the stream. They make I forget the name of the company, but they make a knockoff
Something
Lego.
Blocks?
Not Mega Blocks. It's something else, but they make a knockoff G.I. Joe, and that's the part that is branded, the G.I. Joe stuff. They only made a few vehicles, but the only issue is that the vehicles and the minifigures are not to scale.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So they're like, oh, you can build a snowcat, and we'll give you a snow job, because everyone knows you gotta have one of those under your belt. But that being said, they don't. You can stand them next to each other, but they don't really match up. But they are. Yeah. If you want the minifigs,
they're at like Five Below. The line didn't do well.
No. And again, it's not everything, but like your classics, you can get a Duke, you can get a Cobra Commander. You get a Storm Shadow.
I don't know why it made me so happy. The way you very pals with Cobra Commando. Like, yeah, Cobra Commando over here.
My boy, bro. You know, I've said it. I've said it before. I'll
Don't
say it
show the
again.
tattoo again.
I wish. Bro, you might not like Cobra's politics, but without a doubt, they rock out in the best gear in the game, son. Come on.
They're very fashionable. I'll give you that. John, I misspoke.
Playmobil's no joke.
I misspoke because
Again?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I know I said it was my favorite.
Dude, every movie you mention is either trash or my favorite movie.
Yeah. But my actual favorite, into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a fucking miracle of a film because the first one to me is everything right about the genre, everything right about animation, everything right about young talent, aggressively kind of going at it. You talk about big swings for big success. The first movie is a fucking grand slam in the last game of the World Series to fucking win the game. Somehow, in my opinion, Across the Spider-Verse absolutely, at minimum, stands next to perfectly the first one, which it says I might like it more because every time I kind of see that scene between Miles and his mom on the rooftop, that fucking scene, like thinking about it right now, not like it fucking doesn't always make me like sob like a fucking child, but it always makes me feel all the feelings, and especially around this time of year, and especially with our fathers legitimately gone. But anyone who's ever had parents,
so
I think that movie
it's interesting because we were talking about Blue Beetle. Culturally, Across the Spider-Verse rings personally more true.
Well, you were a city kid.
We share,
when you get a Long Island superhero, that's when your boy will be like, "Oh shit, you made your own grilled cheese out of the toaster."
Oh, she had to walk 3 blocks to get to your bus stop, son. What? Me too.
We do still have our mom, so she can give me a rooftop talk
and make you a grilled cheese.
Oh shit.
So like to me that aspect of it rang very familiar, more so than Blue Beetle. But again, I enjoyed that aspect of Blue Beetle even more than the superhero part of the world, where Across the Spider-Verse was crazy successful, is because it gave us those elements like, hey, what about this? What about that? What about some Spanglish every once in a while? When you got to slip into it because you become a little bit more upset.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, word. But then also, as well as their action adventure aspect of it, was just ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Just ridiculous.
The things you're able to do,
even like the little moments, like little fucking emo Scarlet Spider, like, I'm over here now. I'm like, that's totally accurate.
Christian dropping one of my favorite lines. Remember, kids animation is a medium to tell stories, not a genre. And Spider-Verse is a perfect example. I really love that. I also love this. A Long Island superhero gets his powers from a bacon, egg, and cheese and has a secret hideout under that big duck.
Hell yeah.
In Suffolk County. John, moving right along, Evil Dead Rise. A movie that I was so afraid of.
I wouldn't have thought to include that.
An Evil Dead movie without Ash, so aggressively without Ash, somehow covering new ground with 1,000,000% knowing what its audience wants to see. We want to see blood. We want to see a fucking chainsaw. We want to see freaky monsters. Evil Dead Rise, I absolutely love, and the reason I bring it up is because I think it's not getting enough love now that it's kind of streamable.
Look, the second that you're like, oh, we're going to make a Deadite out of a goddamn Viking queen, I was already tickets in hand, ready to go.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm going to choose to not say anything about it, but Indiana Jones had his last ride. Let me take that back even. The one thing I will say is it's always a delight to see a character I love.
That's amazing.
Well, yes, that I didn't know at the end of the record. That's pretty fucking amazing. But he was also involved. I'm sorry, Christian in the chat. For those of you just listening, he mentioned that our boy, the man with the chin himself, was in the film in an audio commentary, and also it's been confirmed it is in line with the real films. Like they in their world.
I never suspected that it wasn't.
It has to be unofficial for now because those are different companies. But I digress.
Come on,
do you have anything
man.
you want to say about Indy? Again, my only comment is anytime I see the hat and the jacket.
Two things to say about the most recent and allegedly the final installment, unless the reboot happens at some point in my lifetime. I'm glad I got to see it. I'm glad that it exists. Tremendously bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know, just bittersweet.
There were moments that
Huge,
felt so
huge,
great.
huge part of my, like, not even my childhood, my life. You know, are about that fucking, that oversized brimmed fedora, whip cracking son of a bitch. Also, my script would have been better.
Yeah.
I think that
Well, there's no doubt.
that's obvious to anyone who's paying attention. But I'm glad it exists, man. I don't think I had any of the feelings that I saw floated around out there, but I did feel a lot. I just hope Harrison lives forever, man.
Yeah,
He is the hero's hero.
I don't want it to go without being said. I do want to drop this real quick. Christian saying, I like how Evil Dead is a franchise with films every 15 years or so. Makes it more of an event. I'd prefer it if it was like every 5 years.
They're like cicada bugs. They just shake out of the ground. Oh!
Just real quick, stuff that I'm not sure totally fits, but we talked about on the show. Dungeons and Dragons, surprisingly fun.
For us,
it's
it's interesting because I know crazy D&D heads
yeah.
that had very, very mixed emotions about it. A lot of them were like, well, it's better than the last thing that we got. But for a lot of them, like, nope, still not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, yo, but they give you human versions of the animated
That was very cool.
series. I love that.
Even
shit.
the fact they had like the again, luckily, like we're not so into it. That little shit was enough to be like the treasure chest. That's actually a monster.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm such a know nothing.
Yeah.
When it comes to that world, that the shit that I was aware of,
Right.
the gelatinous cube, I'm like, yay!
But that's
someone
how
somewhere loves that.
That's how I felt about Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm like,
me too. Actually,
I know for a
me
fact
too.
that
This is a reference.
that this is a thing. Like there is somebody who's gonna lose their fucking mind. God willing, Christian. God willing, Harrison is immortal. There are gonna be people that lose their mind over this, and there are gonna be some people that are furious that Bowser is singing. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get that single.
Apparently, his big pitch for Super Mario Brothers 2 is you do, or the next movie in the genre is you do a whole Bowser musical. Which I'm like, way to call your shot. Like we always talk about actors who are like, I'd play Lex Luthor's fat side. Like, of course you would, Charlie. No one's asking you to. But him, who's already gotten to be Bowser, being like, maybe a sequel. Maybe I write all the music for Bowser. A couple other ones that don't totally fit.
Bowser 2, Peach Season.
Oh my god, that sounds way sexier than you meant it to. Fast X was like the first Fast and Furious movie to even get me to be like, the fuck? That picture every now and then shows up on my memories that I like
the fuck out of here.
superimposed us with the sign, and you were so sad, and I was alleging to be. Aquaman was great in it. I still haven't seen The Creator, but I heard it was bad.
Vin Diesel about it.
Expendables 4, no one saw. John Wick 4, tremendous. John Wick movies every 2 years for the rest of time.
No matter how many times he's died.
No matter how many times. Cocaine Bear was actually, I was disappointed by Cocaine Bear, but that's really not superheroes. Mission Impossible, I really hope part 2 somehow fixes the, like, we're fighting AI and you should give a shit, because that to me really didn't work.
We're fighting AI and you should give a shit.
But I'm on their side. I'm on AI's side.
No. You're rooting for AI. You're not actually, they're like, they don't give a shit about you.
That's true. Renfield, whatever. 65 is another movie I didn't see. That's the Adam Driver. I wind up back in time against dinosaurs. And that shit looked amazing. Because that feels superhero-y.
Yeah, no, I mean the problem with the problem when you have an actor who is cast, and it shouldn't be the case, because I'm gonna forget the name of the flick. It was a Ridley Scott flick, and he they never really answer it, but like Matt Damon, and he fights to the death because his wife has been sullied by Adam Driver. But that being said,
Christian walked out.
Wow. Yeah, no, it honestly, it felt like he walked onto the wrong set. It was like, oh fuck it, I'll be in this movie now. Okay, sure.
Is this Jurassic Planet?
Yeah. It was like they gave you one problem, and like, oh, problem solved. Bye.
Nice.
It was kind of a nothing burger for me.
The Christian with another great drop. Fast X, they missed an opportunity. Fast X, Fast 10, your seatbelt. That alone, I think, would have gotten them a couple more bucks. John,
Charlie.
for me, in a year where comic book movies are dead, superhero movies are dead, Marvel and DC lost their minds, everybody fucks up. Dude, I had 3 movies that fought for my favorite. I have 3 more movies, 2 of which, sorry, Blue Beetle, but 2 of those movies, I will watch actually, there's more than 2, but specifically Spider-Verse and Guardians Volume 3 will be movies I see multiple times a year, every year, until I'm in the ground.
Charlie, we also had superhero comic book content on for shows, bro. Like this is the year to me that largely belongs to fucking Gen V.
Yes.
Invincible. Like these were not number 1 within a specific fucking demo. These were like number 1 across across the banner for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's one of the things that we tend to get away from.
Yeah.
I mean, these are quality fucking things. I very, very much enjoyed this last season of Loki.
I thought it was fantastic.
I almost enjoy it as much as the people say, I can't wait for season 3. Keep waiting, dummy. Keep waiting. So
unless that show is about the alligator from season 1, fuck off.
Which is fine, because technically.
Oh, you know what they're gonna do for season 3? It's gonna be Kid Loki and his rise to the Young Avengers.
I'm gonna go on record here, guys, because it'll be
you
important
love the
to
Young
anyone
Avengers.
listening or watching. When the Young Avengers happens, and it will, Charlie is gonna need someone to sit in and bounce things off of and step on lines with. It ain't gonna be me. It is not gonna be me. Fuck the Young Avengers. Fuck them where they stand.
All right.
I have
Christian
no
Ellis.
interest.
Do you want to meet in the city?
Yeah.
Somewhere in between all 3 of us. I need companions.
Terrible.
For fucking the new Hawkeye alone. That bitch is scrumptious.
Yeah, well, she's a Bills fan, so you enjoy.
Yeah, at this point, she's not. Come on, girls as sport fans, and the year on some low end sexism.
I mean, pretty high end. Pretty
No, my
right
high
there.
end is way worse.
Look, man, this is a year that has given us far
shit.
more.
Christian saying he'll fight you.
Listen, Christian, it's not going to be fight worthy for me because I wouldn't know how it is. I wouldn't know. Still haven't seen 2016 Ghostbusters, and I won't.
What?
Exactly. Fucking guy at the premiere.
I stole your line.
But Christian, I will happily keep your Long Island seat nice and warm for you when you jump on to talk about it. It's gonna happen.
Can you sit in on that segment with your arms crossed and just say nothing? Can you just like or be on your iPad playing your fucking game?
I'll do one of these, just a little
kill
my volume so I can watch what's going on. But that's as far as my involvement. How are you gonna have a fucking Kid Avengers team with 2 characters that don't exist? They don't exist. Scarlet Witch doesn't have no kids, man.
Tell that to the comics.
Yikes!
Did that bullshit in the comics.
Good Lord,
John.
Good Lord.
An absolutely incredible year. I sincerely want to thank you.
This year felt like it was 12 months.
I hate you. Sincerely, I think an incredibly fun year for the podcast.
It was a fun wave to ride this year.
It was, and I suspect
a lot happened.
We're probably looking down the barrel of another wacky world. Now, next year, our movie year in review is going to be like Deadpool. Because Deadpool 3 is the only mainline Marvel or DC movie.
Hollywood is a place where dreams are created, right? So they're going to do something.
That's true.
They're going to do something. They're not going to let
Can they do comic books again? Remember when they did good comics?
Crazier things have happened.
Although, according to Live from the Secret Stash, apparently Green Lantern this week is phenomenal. The old school cape wearing Green Lantern. specifically. There was
Guys,
a couple
we
of...
live in an era where Dracula is ripping up the four-color funny books.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And he's doing it with style. Anything can happen.
I do think it's important. I'm going to read out Christian's comment from Facebook. I'll stop blowing up your comments. LOL. Best part of the year was getting to work more with you guys. Love you hugely. Respect y'all. Best part of your Wednesdays. Christian, never stop blowing up the comment section.
Ditto.
You and Ellis. Honestly, it's like a 3. It's a 5. It's a 4-way tie to me. It's a 4-way tie, just like my
Charlie's
favorite
good at math.
movies of the year. If it wasn't for Christian, Ellis, Cousin Paul, Joker Stream, Sarge, every single one of you that hopped on, even if it was just once, even if it was just to say hi, you guys made the year a wild success. I'm looking forward to next year. Lots more guests, lots more activities.
And you just can't have a show with just Statler and Waldorf.
That's true.
You need the rest of the felt.
You need Gonzo. Muppets. You need Kermit. I need a Miss Piggy bad.
Ooh, a little chicken action.
John, again, incredible year. I want to thank you very much for putting up with my lunacy.
Yeah,
we will be back in 2024. I'm not sure that that's going to be the season restart. We have to discuss that because the season might not be over just because the year is over. We just, look at us. We're spooky. But again, I absolutely love all of you. I would argue that Muppets Mayhem did not get canceled. It just told a complete story.
It just ended. And
I think we're going to get more Muppets in the future. That to me is like Loki, basically. John.
I'm awake now, so you better say something.
We will be back. Do not know what your homework will be. So just do it all, watch it all, see it all.
You know, enjoy your winter break, kids.
But in the new year, you'll also be able to find us. You'll always rather be able to find us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. But you're also going to be able to find us on X and on Instagram.
Oh, you saw that? Oh, no. Oh.
Not triple X.
I got you.
Damn it. But
it's a paywall.
Your homework is to make sure that we see Godzilla -1 because I heard it might be the greatest film of the last 20 years.
We've got a lot to do. Iron Claw, we got to see that shit.
Iron Claw. I keep thinking you mean Iron Fist, and I'm like, I'm not rewatching.
I don't mean Iron Fist.
John, there's only one way we end each and every episode of US Comics Cast. Would you mind showing the people as I tell them?
Just roll up my old man sleeves.
First, you gotta turn the power on. Then you gotta turn the volume up. You tune Bed Mary and open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. See you, my space girl. We